Welcome back to In Focus. Really quick, I want you to imagine what you would do if you dropped your child off at school to get an education, just to pick them up later and find out that they were fed bugs for lunch. Now, cafe lunches at public schools already pretty nasty, but that goes beyond the pale. This is actually happening in the land down under. According to reports, over 1,000 Australian schools have started feeding kids chips made out of powdered crickets. The chips are being sold by a Western Sydney company that says its products can help save the planet from the sun monster. So take a look at this video that's been going viral of a few Australian school children trying these cricket chips for the first time.
Adelaide, what do you think of the chips? They're yum. Chips are great, aren't they? And these chips are even better because I think they're better for you. Did you know that? Yeah, that way.
Can you taste the crickets? Did you know they're made from crickets? Did you know they're made from little insects? No, but can you taste it? No, you can't. It tastes like normal CCs, doesn't it?
Chips are great, and these chips are even better because they're sponsored by the World Economic Forum, is what the interviewer probably should have actually said. This is what they planned for all of us. We've been warning of this for years, and it's happening now. It is coming to pass, and they're going to try and trick us into it, just like we saw in that clip, where the girls don't even know that they're eating crickets. Global elitists want to shut us up, eat bugs, own nothing, and be happy because we're saving the planet from the sun monster. But they're still going to fly on their private jets, eat their lavish filet mignon dinners at Davos, and build mansions on the water. Mark Morano joins me now to discuss. He's the founder of The Climate Depot and author of the new book out now titled The Great Reset, Global Elites and Permanent Lockdown. Mark, it's great to have you back on the show, my friend. I don't even care if eating crickets could help stop supposed human-caused global warming. I wouldn't care. I would say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to eat my steak. I'm going to eat my ground beef and my chicken. But Australia is taking a different route. They're feeding crickets to their little children.
They are. What? Hold on. Got it. So I'm just getting a quick snack.
Oh, having a quick snack.
Sorry, that was my canned joke. Okay, what's happening in Australia, and you're absolutely right, the World Economic Forum is behind this whole push. The United Nations is behind this whole push. They had a huge agricultural report 2019 basically saying, we got to stop eating meat. We need to treat meat and eaters in restaurants like we do smokers, and we used to treat smokers in restaurants and ban them to their own section. We need to make meat rare and expensive. World Economic Forum's Great Reset actually says meat will be a rare treat. Not for necessarily their Davos meetings or for them, but for us, the unwashed masses, Addison. So much like the whole climate debate, remember, you can follow Gallup polling to the 80s, and fear of global warming never changed much. Whether people believe temperatures were going up or didn't matter, but fear of it never changed. And so what happened with the climate activists, they said, we can't convince adults, let's go after kids. So you had the rise of Greta Thunberg, the rise of the Sunshine Movement, the rise of the climate activist kids who were skipping school and blaming their parents for the state of the earth. Now they've taken that tried and true formula, and it really did work well with the youth activists in the climate agenda, and they're now pushing the bug eating with kids. So these poor unsuspecting kids, the psychologist in charge, of professor of sustainability, actually said the hope is after these kids eat these cricket chips at school, they'll go home and, quote, pester their parents in order to buy them and to normalize it. This is a psychological operation, a psyop being performed on kids. As if the mask mandate for 2.5 years wasn't enough, they need to add tricked insect eating on them. Because frankly, if you put barbecue sauce in oil and fry it, pretty much people will eat anything. They're not going to know what's under all that. So that the idea that, oh, these are crickets is nonsense. There are cricket base in there, but this is a psychological to essentially make it acceptable to eat insects.
Now, I have a feeling, Mark, I have a sneaking suspicion that Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, all the World Economic Forum, the globalist elites, I have a feeling that their reason for wanting us to eat crickets is not so much to save us from the sun monster. I feel like there's probably some other motive behind it.
Yeah, it's a very clear, I mean, it's crystal clear motive. The World Economic Forum literally wants you to eat bugs. And when I say they want you to eat bugs, I mean, they are demanding you eat bugs in report after report, article after article, project after project. All they do is promote insect eating at every possible level. The friends in the corporate media, from CNN to the mainstream media, they are promoting insect eating all the time, whether it's animal paste. Um, Robert Downey Jr. was on Stephen Colbert's show promoting this new insect protein paste. And why are they promoting insects? Because their goal, as stated, is to end meat eating. This is why Netherlands Farms, the largest meat exporter in Europe, being shut down. This is why Bill Gates, now the single largest farmland owner in America, his whole goal is to push fake synthetic beef. Now, two things, just one big thing here. There's the vegetable oil processed meat that you can get at, I think, Burger King. It's Impossible Burgers, which is, a veggie burger made to look and feel, and they're pushing that. But they're also pushing this lab-grown meat, which is only, as of this writing, only approved for human consumption in Singapore. They get stem cells from an animal, they get placenta from a baby cow, they mix it up in a lab, scientists let it ferment for a few months, and it grows inside of a petri dish. It's like a invasion of the body snatchers animal blob. So it's actual animal enzymes, but it's not quite an animal, and it's not quite meat. But this is what they're also pushing. So until that can come online, the greatest source of protein to replace meat is insects. So we just have to get over our little mental hang up about it.
That sounds pretty disgusting, too, if you ask me, Mark. You're getting your supposed meat, your meat substitute, from a lab that they grew it in a petri dish. I don't think I would trust that. I don't want to know that about what I'm putting. I don't want to know what's in a hot dog, right? And I know there's all sorts of nefarious, disgusting things in a hot dog.
Yes.
I don't want to know what they're putting in this lab-grown meat. That's the placenta. That sounds disgusting.
Well, this is how it's made. In the World Economic Forum, they have a whole video. You could actually show the video. They're bragging about how you can print this lab-grown meat in a 3D printer. And actually, you can watch videos of this on YouTube. They put in the goo, and it comes out and it prints it in with the texture and all the different layers. And then you got to let it sort of cure and cultivate. And they're saying it's probably years away, but here's the thing. Billions of dollars are already being invested in this lab-grown meat. And why? Because they're blaming cows. We have Prince Charles, now King Charles III, who just earlier this year supported a startup company that came up with face masks for cows. I'm not making this up. They look like COVID face masks they put on cows to prevent their burping from creating the methane bomb and destroying the atmosphere.
Do they have diapers for the cow farts?
There actually have been devices that catch the other end as well. Yes, I mean, people take this seriously. There's a war on meat. There's a war on cows. There's a war on agriculture, not just the meat, but there's also a war on the high yield nitrogen fertilizer, which has created the agricultural revolution and fed the world for the past 50 years. This is a return to primitivism. That's what's happening here. And they're using your kids to weaponize against you in a psych op to make it essentially to make them feel like it's normal to start eating insects because they have to save the planet. For every cricket you eat, a planet gets its life back.
The Great Reset, global elites, and permanent lockdowns. If you want to know more about this craziness we're seeing in society, check out that book by our very own Mark Morano. Thank you so much for being on the program, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Addison. Appreciate it.